his statement, and I'll recognize the Majority Whip from Bakersfield, Mr. McCarthy.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, thank you all for turning out. And I want to thank the committee for being here. You know, this isn't the first time the committee's here. We were here 3 years ago. We were here 4 years ago because we knew today would come, and we wanted to be better prepared. The sad part is the House has done the work. The Senate just stood there defensively in the face of a drought. And I'm here to tell you that's not a noble gesture. Just yesterday, I was reading the Wall Street Journal. Headline, front page. Because of the drought in California and Texas, prices are rising. We know from the valley what we grow. Already affecting the economy. We see it right here, right now. Where will we get our food? Do you ever question about food safety? There's no better place to do it than grow our own. There's no better place to grow it than here. The challenge is, do we have to be where we are today? We know some years will be drier than others. On record, this is one of the driest. 3 years ago, we had 170% of snowpack, just 3 years ago. What was the state allocation then? 80%. 80% in a year of 170. You know, Devin has led this charge when many people thought it was just a valley issue. He's been able to grow it into a national issue, because it is. The policies that are affecting this nation aren't just going to affect California, it affects the entire country. And it holds us back. David has led the charge this time in Congress and actually passed legislation. The Senate has done nothing. The challenge is, in 1994, something unique happened. Republicans, Democrats, environmentalists, water users all got together and made an agreement. They made an agreement. And in that agreement, it said in the wet years, we'd let water come down from the delta. We'd be able to store it for years like today. But court cases, federal regulation, and others have made that different. So we're in a different place. My wife and I, we have 2 children. Like you, our greatest fear in the future is what the future will look like for them. What are the opportunities that they will have? And when they're growing up, you want to teach them lessons of history in the past. And you study history. And are there tales, are there fables you can teach them to teach them the lessons? Did any of you ever study Aesop? The ancient Greek who was a slave. He'd tell these fables to teach a lesson for a moral history in the future. And there's a famous one that he would always, we would read it and he would tell it, about the ant and the grasshopper. It's really quite simple. Did a little story of an ant and a grasshopper in the summertime. What did the ant do? The ant went and stored the food, took it down, afraid that there might be a cold winter, when others would say, oh no, nothing will happen. The grasshopper enjoyed the summer, afraid nothing ever will come. Well, you know what? A cold winter came. Who was prepared? This would have been a great year to be an ant. We had a great opportunity. But government is pushing us in to be grasshoppers. A challenge we do not have to be. Our chairman is from Washington State. Earlier this year, they were at 60% of their snowpack. The president came out here, brought our 2 senators to talk about the water crisis of California. He thinks it's a different issue. In that time, we had that little bit of rain. Washington got 40% more of their snowpack. I think the president's on the wrong path if he thinks it's just global warming. Washington's not far from California. But do you know, during that little bit of rain, in these type of years, it's very important. I just heard a report back that projected from a water district that 445,000 acre-feet went out to the ocean because of state and federal regulation. State quality says it needs to be 8-to-1. The fish get 8, we get 1. It kind of goes back to the old fable. It's not that difficult. We need more storage. We need the ability for the water to come down, not into the ocean. And we need to plan for the years ahead. We were here 3 years ago to make that plan. We were very fortunate in a process that most states don't have. Both our senators are committee chairs. You know how powerful it is to be a committee chair in the Senate? But there still has not been a vote in the Senate on water legislation for California. This country was created with a House and a Senate. One House passes a bill, the Senate passes a bill, and you go to conference and you solve a problem. We've been waiting 2 Congresses now. We've gotten the entire Congress together to vote on where to move, just focused on California. Very seldom does that ever happen. The question now is, will the Senate even act? We can't wait any longer. We're now in that place that we did not want to be. And I believe there's a better opportunity. I look forward to hearing to all, and I yield back.
I thank the gentleman for his testimony. I'll recognize another